The year was 1973. Do you remember where you were and what you were doing? And maybe you weren't even born yet, but you still love the music. Hi, I'm Mr. Mike, and that's what the kids at church call me. And welcome to this episode of In My Musical Opinion, the channel where I go through every number one hit song according to the US Billboard Pop Charts from a year in rock and roll history. Then I tell you who recorded the song, how many weeks it remained in the number one position, and maybe a few more interesting bits of musical trivia. And then, after I go through every number one song, I'll be giving you my musical opinion to my top 5 songs from that year. So stick around till the end. Today, I'll be going through the year 1973. What was Mr. Mike doing? Well, it was an important year for me. I sold my 1966 Dodge Monaco, 4-door, and bought a 1972 Dodge Colt with a 4-speed. But what was more important was that I graduated from tech school in March of that year, got a job at General Electric in Waynesboro, Virginia, and moved there from Pittsburgh in late March. I was 19, out on my own, making $3.87 an hour at a big company, and thinking that the whole world was mine. And to top it off, it was 1973, and the music was great. So let's go through every number one hit song from 1973. This will be a long video here today because there are 27 of them. A lot of songs that just stuck around for 1 week or 2 weeks. Then, stick around to the end to see which ones are, in my musical opinion, my top 5 hits from that year. Think we'll agree on any of them? Well, let's see. And, as always, if we don't, it's okay. We all have our own musical taste. Kicking off for our first number one for the year 1973 is You're So Vain, written and performed by Carly Simon. No one really knows who Carly is singing about in this song, but some have speculated that it just might be Warren Beatty. Well, maybe so. The song spent 3 weeks at number one. Our next number one for 1973 is Superstition by Stevie Wonder. This was Stevie's first number one hit song since Fingertips Part 2 way back in 1963. The song was written and performed by Stevie Wonder and remained at the number one position for 1 week. Replacing Superstition for the number one spot in February of 1973 is Crocodile Rock by Elton John from the Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player album. With the words written by Bernie Taupin and the music by Elton John, this song spent 3 weeks number one. Next, we have the song Killing Me Softly with His Song by Roberta Flack. This song was composed by Charles Fox with lyrics by Norman Gimbel in collaboration with Lori Lieberman. It held the top spot on the US Billboard Charts for 4 weeks. Then it was replaced by another song, but then it came back as number 1 for 1 more week, making it a number 1 song in 1973 for a total of 5 weeks.
With his song telling my whole life, with his words killing me softly, with his song.
Coming up next, people all over the world need to join hands and start a love train. At least that's what the OJs were telling us. Written by Kenneth Gamble and Leon Huff, The Love Train stayed at number 1 for only 1 week. Moving on to our next number 1 is The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia by Vicki Lawrence. The song was written by her then husband, Bobby Russell. Lawrence also appeared as a regular on The Carol Burnett Show. The song remained at number 1 2 weeks.
Cause the judge in the town's got bloodstains on his hands. Well, Andy got scared and left the bar, walking on home cause he didn't live.
For the week ending April 21st, 1973, we have Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree by Dawn, featuring Tony Orlando. And in case you just may be wondering, the 2 ladies making up Dawn were Thelma Hopkins and Joyce Vincent. The song remained at number 1 for 4 weeks.
I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, put the blame on me if I don't see a yellow ribbon around the old.
Next, in 1973, we have another Stevie Wonder song, You Are the Sunshine of My Life. This song won Stevie Wonder a Grammy Award for the Best Male Pop Vocal Performance for 1973. It stayed at number 1 for 1 week.
You are the apple of my eye. Forever you'll stay in my heart.
For the week ending May 26, 1973, we have the Edgar Winter Group with their instrumental Frankenstein. The group consisted of Edgar Winter on electric piano, Ronnie Montrose on guitar, Dan Hartman on bass, and Chuck Ruff on drums. The song was number 1 1 week. Our next number 1 in 1973 is My Love, written by Paul and Linda McCartney and performed by Paul McCartney and Wings. This song was a love ballad written by Paul for his wife, Linda. Recorded at the Abbey Road Studios in London, My Love held the number 1 spot for 4 weeks. Next, we have another number 1 hit song that stayed at the top of the charts for only 1 week. It's Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth by George Harrison. It's rather interesting that a McCartney ex-Beatles song was replaced by a George Harrison ex-Beatle song. The song was written and performed by George Harrison. Up next at number 1, we have Will It Go Round in Circles by Billy Preston. This song was written by Preston and Bruce Fisher. Billy played keyboards on a few Beatle tunes, such as Get Back and Something. This song was a big hit in the summer of 1973 and remained at number 1 for 2 weeks.
When it fly high like a bird up in the sky. I've got a story, ain't got no tomorrow.
Finishing up the month of July in 73, we have a song about a man that's 6'4", wears diamond rings, and drives a custom Continental and an Eldorado too. The song is Bad, Bad Leroy Brown by Jim Croce. This was Croce's final hit song before his untimely death on September 20th of that year. The song remained at number 1 for 2 weeks.
Now Leroy, he a gambler, and he like his fancy clothes, and he like to wear his diamond rings in front of everybody's nose.
Replacing Bad, Bad Leroy Brown for the top spot is The Morning After by Maureen McGovern. The song was written by Al Kasha and Joel Hishorn for the 1972 film The Poseidon Adventure. Watch out for those New Year's Eve parties on ocean liners. The Morning After stayed at number 1 2 weeks.
And we'll escape the darkness. We won't be searching anymore. There's got to be.
Mid-August brought us the song Touch Me in the Morning by Diana Ross. It was written by Ron Miller and Michael Masson. It became Diana Ross's second solo number 1 single and remained at number 1 for 1 week.
Just close the door. Leave me as you found me.
Our next number 1 hit song discusses an interracial love affair between a white man and a black woman, and the subsequent rejection of both by their parents because of it. The song is Brother Louie by The Stories. The song was originally written and performed by British soul band Hot Chocolate. The song held the number 1 spot for The Stories 2 weeks. Coming in next is Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. The song was written by Marvin Gaye and Ed Townsend. It became Marvin Gaye's most successful hit for Motown Records. It held the top spot on the US Billboard Charts for 1 week. Then it was replaced by another song. Then it came back as number 1 for 1 more week, making it a number 1 song in 1973 for a total of 2 weeks. We're still in September, and our 18th number 1 hit song is Delta Dawn by Helen Reddy. The song was recorded in 1972 by both Bette Midler and Tanya Tucker, but it became a number 1 hit on the Billboard charts for Helen Reddy in 1973. It stayed at number 1 for 2 weeks. After Helen Reddy, we have Grand Funk Railroad with We're an American Band as our new #1 song. Written by Grand Funk Railroad drummer Don Brewer and produced by Todd Rundgren, it became the band's first single to top the Billboard charts. It remained at #1 for 1 week. Our next song for 1973 describes the life of a girl who faces societal rejection due to having a white father and a Cherokee mother. The song is Half Breed by Cher. This was Cher's second #1 solo hit and remained at #1 for 2 weeks. Next, we have the British rock band, the Rolling Stones, with Angie. Written by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. Richards insists that the song was not about any particular person. It held the #1 position for 1 week.
You can't say we never tried.
Finishing up in October, we have a song about a guy who doesn't make it in Hollywood, so his girl accompanies him back home. It's Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight and the Pips. Written by Jim Weatherly, the song spent 2 weeks at #1.
To a simpler place and time. Oh, yes, he is. Now be with him. I know you will. On that midnight train to Georgia.
Mid-November brought us Keep On Truckin', Part 1 by Eddie Kendricks as our new #1 song. This was Eddie's first solo hit after leaving the Temptations 2 years prior. The song was written by Leonard Caston Jr., Anita Puré, and Frank Wilson. The song spent 2 weeks at #1. Next, we have another former Beatle giving us our new #1. It's Photograph by Ringo Starr. Written by Ringo Starr and George Harrison, the song topped the charts in the US, in Canada, and in Australia. The song spent 1 week at #1. Kicking off December of 1973, we have The Carpenters with Top of the World. It became The Carpenters' second #1 single and their 10th top 10 single. Written by Richard Carpenter and John Bettis, the song spent 2 weeks at #1. Knocking off The Carpenters for the #1 spot is The Most Beautiful Girl by Charlie Rich. The song hit #1 on the pop charts, the country charts, and the adult contemporary charts. Written by Billy Sherrill, Nora Wilson, and Rory Wart, this song stayed at #1 2 weeks.
If you happen to see the most beautiful girl that walked out on me.
Ending the year 1973, this artist wrote this song after he found out that his wife was pregnant. It's Jim Croce with the song Time in a Bottle. What does this song have in common with Sitting on the Dock of the Bay and Me and Bobby McGee? It was the third song to go to number one after the artist had passed away. This song spent 1 week at number one in 1973 and 1 week at number one in 1974.
Just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes.
So, there you have it. The 27 number one hit songs from the US Billboard Pop Charts from 1973. As with any year in rock and roll history, there are plenty of other songs that were out that we loved even more than these number one hits. My top three favorites that did not make it to number one in 73 are Reeling in the Years by Steely Dan, only made it to number 11. Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel, only made it to number 6. And Drift Away by Dobie Gray, only made it to number 5. Unfortunately, they never made it to the number one position. And again, in this show, I just rate the number one songs. And how do I rate them? Just to let you know, I base my ratings on 3 things: the music, the lyrics, and probably most of all, the memories the song brings back to me. I can remember exactly where I was and what I was doing with each and every one of these songs. And I'll bet that you can too. So which ones, in my musical opinion, are my top 5 1973 favorites? Well, there's 27 to choose from. So here I go. At number 5, I chose Photograph by Ringo Starr. I had the 8-track. The mix on this song is fantastic. And I had just broken up with a girl at that time, and I still had her picture, her photograph. Ringo Starr at my number 5. Next, at number 4, is You're So Vain by Carly Simon. What a great voice. And what a great story. And maybe the song is about Warren Beatty. And how many songs begin with the vocalist saying, "Son of a gun"? Carly Simon at my number 4. Moving on to number 3, for me, is We're an American Band by Grand Funk Railroad. I love this high-energy trio consisting of Mark Farner on guitar, Mel Shacker on bass, and Don Brewer on drums. The song is the anthem, or should be the anthem of every male rock band. We're coming to your time. We'll help you party it down. I just love the music and instrumentation in my number 2 pick for 1973. It's Superstition by Stevie Wonder. Gotta love that opening funky riff played on a Hohner clavinet Model C. I just had to learn that same riff on the guitar. However, Stevie plays it in E flat, and I play it in E. And for me, that's close enough. Stevie Wonder at my number 2.
The devil's on his way. 13 months old baby.
And my number 1 favorite song of 1973 is Will It Go Round in Circles by Billy Preston. It has a driving beat that makes you want to move. But beyond that, for me, it's the memories of the summer of 1973 that make this song my number 1. Well, what happened that summer, Mr. Mike? I'll never tell. Will It Go Round in Circles? My number 1 out of all the number 1s for 1973. Well, there you have it. The 27 number 1 hit songs from the year 1973, and in my musical opinion, my top 5 from that year. What were your top 5 songs from this year? Leave your favorites in the comments below. I like to see what they are, and I love reading them. Well, I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, revisiting the number 1 hit songs from 1973. Please give this video a thumbs up, and new subscribers to this channel are always welcome. And come back again when I take us through another year in rock and roll history. Look at every number 1 hit song from that year, and then, in my musical opinion, give you my top 5. Well, this is Mr. Mike, and I'll see you next time in our next episode of In My Musical Opinion. Keep rocking.